Hello and welcome to the show on the streets. I'm Auram, and today we're talking to the general public about what they think of comic books, and if they read comic books. Later on, we'll be asking them stuff like, can you name 5 comic book characters, and questions similar to that. Well, we should probably go find some people to interview. See you after the intro. Here with
Tim.
And
Tony.
Awesome. We're here with
John.
John. Alright, we're here with John. I'm here with
Barbara.
What is your name, sir?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, awesome. Here at Movie Training Company with
Amy.
We're gonna ask him some comic book questions. So these are questions just like general comic book questions. So first off, do you read comic books?
No.
No. Can you elaborate on why not?
Because I'm a grown man.
You're a grown man. That's fair.
No, I haven't read any comic books.
How about you?
No.
No.
Do you let your kids read them?
Not since I was young. My kids are a little young.
First off, do you read comic books?
Yes, sir.
I do not, but my boyfriend is really into them.
Not anytime recently.
Say, recently, did you before at all?
I guess when I was really little, like their
Like that
age.
little?
So probably 20 years ago.
When I was a kid, I used to read comic books. Yeah, it was great. But I feel now, with technology, there's not as much comic books.
Yeah, I still have a collection sitting around the
That's cool.
apartment.
That's cool.
Collecting dust.
And you said that your boyfriend does. Were you ever interested in reading the stuff that he has?
Yeah, he has a lot of the old school Marvel stuff. He's a really big fan of Thor, so he's the Infinity Gauntlet and all that kind of stuff.
How often do you read them?
I read, usually I read sometimes every Saturday when I get the chance to. I usually read, depends on the story, you know, the DC and Marvel a lot.
You said that you read about every Saturday. Do you go weekly to the comic book store and pick some up?
Usually Barnes & Nobles.
Barnes & Noble?
I'm usually a graphic novel collector.
Ah, okay. So you're not interested in the single issues and stuff like that?
No, sometimes it gets confusing. Sometimes, you know, you're
can see
trying to like read, you're trying to wait, you feel like you're impatient every time, and you're trying to figure out like what's gonna happen next, what's gonna happen next. So I'd rather get the graphic novel version because you could see like it's an ongoing saga, like Batman.
Yeah.
Like the Batman New 52 and before the New 52, it's like an ongoing saga story, you know. Which continues very quickly. You know, you always picture, every time you hear Batman's voice, you hear Kevin Conroy from the 90s series. You've heard of the 90s series, right?
Of course.
Yes, Kevin Conroy. And usually sometimes when it's always about, and every time when Joker's in it, you usually hear Mark Hamill, you know?
What do you think of comic books nowadays?
Well, I'd say they're becoming less relevant. I don't think people really read as much as they used to. However, the storylines have become more relevant because you can go to the movies and see some X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Or Avengers, and so really Marvel and DC are really capitalizing on that market. So, yeah. But as far as actual physical book, I mean, I haven't seen anybody really read one.
That's interesting because I go to the comic book store every week and pick up like 6 or 7 books. So
First thing that comes to mind is nerdy.
nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good like general stigma that
Yeah,
people
but
have
maybe I
against
just
them.
haven't been educated on them.
That's kind of why we're doing the interview.
Okay.
Is that just a lot of people nowadays don't know much about comic books and know that it's a big industry, but it's also at the same time a really small industry because a lot of people have the idea that because of the movies and everything like that comic books are huge, that everyone buys comic books, but like for example, the biggest comic book that sold last month only sold 100,000 copies.
Wow, not much money in
Yeah,
that.
which is super small. What do you think about comic books? Do you have like a stigma against them or anything like that?
Not at all, and I think it's really cool that with all the superhero movies that are coming out now, they're becoming more and more popular just because it's being not only more widely available, but it's extended into other forms of media, so more people are getting interested.
I mean, I think it's a good hobby for people. It's a lot of creative thinking, I think. For an adult to be able to get into something like that, I think it's cool. It expands their. It means that they are imaginative, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Can either of you name the 2 big comic publishers?
Marvel and
I have no clue.
I got one out of 50% comic.
Comic?
DC.
That's it. Good job. Okay, so
Comic better.
just comic. Welcome to comic. You don't get a prize for this, sadly, but can you name 5 comic book characters?
I mean, like superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I got 2 boys. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern,
Yeah.
And actually, I'm getting a lot of this from The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
Let's go with Wonder Woman. Villains count? Writer. What's a villain from a comic book? A bad Joker. There you go.
Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Wolverine, Magneto.
Oh, Superman, Batman. See, I think the girl back there knows all the details. Pretty much every Superman. I mean, isn't it Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Scooby-Doo?
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Is that licensed by like Marvel?
No.
What about the
Garfield.
Sure. That's it for this week for the show on the streets. Be sure to leave some suggestions for future questions that we could ask the general public in the comments. I was really surprised to see what people thought about just comic books in general, and we even found someone that read comics, and that was really interesting. If you want to see the full interview with Jonathan, the guy that actually read comics, then go to the description. There will be a link to an unlisted video with that full uncut interview. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Next time we get in depth with these people about Marvel Comics.
Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker.